Hey everyone, and welcome back to the X-Ring. On today's episode, we're going to show you how to fly with firearms, so stay tuned. Alright, so over the last 30 years, I have flown with firearms a lot. Anytime you're going to a shooting match, or if you're just traveling to another state and you want to make sure that you have your firearm with you because you're carrying concealed legally, let's talk about some of the things you need to know. Now, first and foremost, you want hard-sided luggage. That is going to vary between different airlines, but definitely hard-sided luggage, and I'm highly going to recommend Pelican cases. Yes, they do weigh more, and they're going to take away from how much you can actually carry, but if you're carrying some off-brand plastic case, there's a good chance it's going to get damaged. I know that last week I had a friend fly in, and one of his rifles popped through a case right in this area, and it wasn't a Pelican case. So first and foremost, you want to be able to lock it. Don't use TSA locks. The other thing you're going to need to know is how much weight you can actually carry without being charged an overage fee. A lot of times they're going to make you measure linear inches, so you're going to measure your height, your width, and your length. And sometimes that's going to be limited to 60-something inches or so. Otherwise, you're going to pay an overage fee for a really tall rifle case. So as far as ammunition, you're going to be limited to 11 pounds of ammunition. So before I go into the airport or anything, I'm going to take my automatic knife here and I'm going to simply place it in the box. This has nothing to do with firearms, but I want to make sure that I don't walk into the airport with this pocket knife and that I already have it in the luggage itself. Typically, I'll just take my pocket knife and put it in a shoe. All right, so now that that's good, let's go ahead and close it up, but don't lock it just yet. Now, in this case right here, I actually have a lot of knives, and I have 2 pistols that are inside of a hard case here. So I'm just going to leave it that way. We'll lock it up, and there's ammunition that needs to be in the manufacturer's original container. They can sometimes give you a hard time about flying with ammunition that's in the reloading boxes. Another thing, make sure you have wheels. It's a huge help.
For security reasons, unattended vehicles in front of the terminal will be ticketed and immediately towed.
Hey, how you doing? I need to declare firearms. After stating that you need to declare a firearm, you're going to be handing them your identification as well. They're going to hand you a slip that is a declaration stating that the firearm is empty and unloaded. Now, this usually varies between airlines, but sometimes they will want to see the actual firearm or firearms, and sometimes they don't. That really does vary on who you're flying with. You're going to sign the card stating that it's unloaded, and you'll have to place that in your luggage or on top of the box that contains the firearms. Make sure your magazines are packed separately, or at least not in the mag well. They can be in the box with them. Just don't have them in the mag well if you can help it. Taking the bolt or bolts out of your rifles wouldn't be a bad idea either. At that point, what they're going to do is have you close the box, and this is when I usually go ahead and place the locks on there. Now keep in mind, putting 4 locks on top of your Pelican luggage will increase the weight by about 1.5 pounds or so, and you don't want to be charged more than that 50 or in some cases 40 pounds, because they will check that, and if it's over, you're going to be paying extra for that luggage. In this case, the green box only cost me $40 to ship, and 1 was free. Now, in all the years of flying with firearms, I've never been asked for any type of identification other than my driver's license. I've never been asked to produce a concealed carry permit or anything like that. Make sure if you're traveling with NFA items such as SBRs or suppressors that they are going to be legal in the state in which you are going to be flying to.
Now, just tell them you want to make sure your bag went through.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Now, the TSA pre-check lady did come out and say that everything was good. It takes about 10 minutes. Sometimes you have to wait about 15. That's it. We are through. When you arrive at your destination, don't be looking here. You are going to have to go to the side, and usually someone will bring your luggage to you. You will have to produce your identification, your driver's license, and they will hand it off to you. this case, that was the guy from the side, and I grabbed it, and off we go. All right, and it's usually that easy. There it is, and no issues whatsoever. Let's talk about some things that can happen. Now, these are going to be some tips that are going to be very important. A lot of times when you get a Pelican case, especially if it's an older one, it's going to have an old hole like this. The problem with that is this lock will not physically fit through this hole. It just won't fit. So what I do is I pre-drill this or drill that out unless it's going to bridge it, or I'll drill new ones here. You can see that they're much larger, and then that will go through here like that. Now they're going to be very, very rough. Now on these right here, this was brand new before we started on the trip. You can see how beat up and dinged up that one gets. These are ones that I've been traveling with for quite some time now, and you can see that it's pretty bad. Occasionally you will have holes that will blow out of your luggage right here where they will break these off. They're not trying to get into it, it's just the way that when it goes to the conveyor, it grabs everything. So that'll save you time and energy, because when you get to the counter and they say lock it up, if you can't get that lock through there, you're not going to be able to drill it right there on scene, and that can cause a huge issue. So make sure your locks fit. I use a mixture of combination locks as well as keyed locks. One time I was flying out west, and I did have a ticket agent give me a really, really hard time, because what they did was they unlatched the box, and the hasp allowed this to lift about this much. And because of that, they could actually touch the box that the firearm was in. And I know it sounds stupid. I had to call for a manager and everything else, but because they said they could actually touch the box that the firearm was in, that they weren't going to allow that to fly. After about 20 minutes of finagling and moving some stuff around so that they couldn't touch it, I was able to fly with it. But you will have some ignorant people that don't know the laws about what their airlines are actually supposed to do. So in that case, the people that are uneducated, you might have to deal with them, but remember, you will always get more bees with honey than you will with vinegar. So just be nice, don't be confrontational. Ultimately, there are certain battles you want to fight and other ones you don't. They are never supposed to open your box without you being present. Now, with that being said, sometimes when you wait off to the side and you're waiting for them to inspect your luggage, occasionally they will take you back to the screening room while they open it and while they swab it. Other times they will not, and they will ask you for either the key or the combination. Don't say that you don't have a right to open that without me being present, because sometimes they won't allow you to go back there, and ultimately you need to connect with your flight, because sometimes they will immediately take offense to it and say, hey, if you're not going to give me the key or the combo lock, then we're just going to disregard you being able to fly. So don't play that game. You definitely want to be nice about it. Now, this is the declaration from American Airlines that you're signing. It's saying that the firearm's unloaded, you understand federal regulations. I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys real quick, because this could be locked as well. And if you've got the locks, go ahead and use them. Basically, I put the pistol on top of here. It doesn't matter if you have multiple ones. And then I had another firearm underneath here for the competition dynamics match, which is the reason I'm flying out to this. The other thing is, if you're going to be flying with NFI items, make sure that they are going to be legal, okay? Don't have high-capacity magazines in a state that doesn't allow standard capacity magazines, okay? So just keep that in mind, because it'll go a long ways to keep you from getting in trouble and getting locked up. The ammunition, you can see it all here. It's still in the box, and it was loose. Sometimes these will get busted open. I don't know if it's by them or just the way you pack it, but yep, no issues. I'll be shooting 6 ARC this weekend, and so 11 pounds gives me about 13 boxes. One last thing before closing is they can lose your firearms. Sometimes they will say that it didn't make the connecting flight, and you might have to wait until that flight comes in, or you're gonna have to go back to the airport. Now, that happened to me one time, and we were there for 12 hours waiting on our luggage. We had suppressors and some really high-end bolt action rifles with some Wilcox Raptors, and it just kept not showing up. So what we did is we called the sheriff's office. Once the deputies arrived, our luggage magically appeared. So I don't know what was going there. I don't know if someone was trying to steal those, but once we started to do the police reports, because we had NFA items that were missing with the suppressors and also the serial numbers for the rifles, you need to have all that stuff documented beforehand. Go ahead and take pictures of the serial numbers of the firearm and also the suppressors, before you put them in the luggage. That way, if it does turn up missing, now you have accurate information. You're going to need the serial number, make, model, and caliber, and that would get it entered into NCIC if it was in case it was indeed stolen. So hopefully that helps some of you guys flying with firearms. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section below. We are here in Logan, New Mexico, and we are starting the competition dynamics match, so stay tuned.